Late, I was returning from a visit to Kota, the jeep's headlights cutting through the oppressive darkness. Bundi, with its ancient palaces and stepwells, always held an air of mystery, but tonight, the air hung heavy with something more. Something felt off, the silence broken only by the hum of the engine and the distant barking of dogs. As we rounded a bend near the old fort, I saw it. A flickering light dancing near the roadside. The driver, a sturdy Rajput named Bahadur, noticed it too. He muttered a quick prayer under his breath, a bead of sweat trickling down his weathered face. We both knew the stories, tales whispered in hushed tones of restless spirits that roamed the night. I tried to rationalize, to explain away the light as a trick of the moonlight, but a shiver ran down my spine, a primal fear taking root in my gut. The closer we got, the more the light flickered, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to writhe and reach towards us. Bahadur slammed on the brakes, the jeep skidding to a halt. The light vanished. Silence descended, thick and heavy, broken only by our ragged breaths. "Sahib," Bahadur whispered, his voice tight with terror, "something is not right." He was right. An unseen force buffeted the jeep, rocking it violently. Bahadur cried out, his hands gripping the steering wheel until his knuckles turned white. I was paralyzed with fear, the blood pounding in my ears. The jeep lurched again, throwing me against the door. Then, as quickly as it started, it stopped. The silence returned, deeper and more unsettling. Bahadur, his face pale and drawn, looked at me, his eyes wide with fear. He refused to continue, insisting on waiting for the first light of dawn. We sat there, huddled in the jeep, the darkness pressing in around us, every rustle of leaves, every cry of a nightbird, amplifying our terror. As the first faint streaks of dawn painted the sky, a lone figure emerged from the mist. It was the old watchman of the nearby palace, his face etched with worry. He had witnessed the entire ordeal, confirming our worst fears. He told us of a young boy, a spectral figure often seen near this stretch of road. He was, according to local law, a prince who had drowned in a tragic accident centuries ago, his spirit forever bound to the place of his demise. Later that day, I went to the spot where we had encountered the strange light. And there, etched into the ancient stones of a nearby well, was a faded inscription, a lament for a young prince, lost to the depths of the well. As I stared at the inscription, the events of the night came flooding back. The flickering light, the invisible force, Bahadur's terror, they all pointed to a truth too eerie to ignore. I had encountered the restless spirit of the drowned prince. Years have passed since that night in Bundi, but the memory of that encounter, the raw terror, the palpable presence of the unseen, continues to haunt me. The image of the flickering light, the feeling of the jeep being shaken by an invisible force, the old watchman's confirmation, and the inscription on the well. They are seared into my memory. Even today, whenever I pass through Bundi, a shiver runs down my spine. The shadows seem longer, the silence heavier, the air thick with untold stories. The ancient city, with its grand palaces and forgotten wells, holds a new kind of magic for me now. The unsettling magic of the unseen, the unheard, the unknown. The night of shadows in Bundi, a stark reminder that some things cannot be explained, only experienced and forever remembered.